guys, it's Danielle here, and today I'm gonna be doing a video about my dad. So this really sucks that I even have to film a video about my dad, or even it comes to the situation where I have to go out of my way to talk about this on social media. But it's come down to this, and I just want to let you guys know, and to everybody watching this, that I'm not the type of person to ever go out of my way to expose anyone, or especially a family member, or even somebody who is literally immediately family, if that makes sense. Like, he's literally my dad. And so the fact that I even have to go online and share stories about him really sucks for me, because it's not something that I want to do, especially being a teenage girl. Like, I just want to live my life and do what I want, and I have to really just sit here and tell my side of the story. And also, I'm filming this. I just want to let you guys know I'm just really shy when I get on camera, so if I'm not talking correctly, it's just because I'm really stressed out right now and I'm trying to stay positive. So I'm not going to edit this. I'm just going to post it right after I film this. So yeah, keep that in mind. Also, you're not only going to hear from me in this video, you're also going to hear from my uncle and brother. They have a little input on this situation because they were there for a lot of these stories that have happened. They even want to share some of their own stories. We are actually at our vacation home in Florida right now, so we're going to have them at the end of the video. They're going to send a video over that you guys will see. So anyways, let's get into it. Okay, so my dad, let's just start off with growing up. My parents were together, they were in a relationship, but it was not a good relationship. And I grew up with literally waking up to my parents fighting every night, and not even just arguments, real fights. And the violence that would happen in my house every night, it really was really hard to just sit there and have to watch every time and not be able to do anything, because I'm just this little girl that doesn't know what to do. And I definitely think that it has scarred me for the rest of my life, just knowing, especially knowing that I sat back and let my mom get treated like that is what really hurts me the most. Yeah, so I'm just gonna tell a couple of stories that had happened and kind of just explain to you my whole kind of life with my dad. So like I said, my parents would fight a lot. My dad he definitely would drink a lot of alcohol. He would smoke a lot of marijuana. He's definitely somebody who just loves to smoke, loves to drink. I don't know if he's like that anymore. I really hope he isn't like that anymore, because he has another daughter, and I hope that he can be a way better father to that daughter than he was to me, because I don't think any kid should have to go through what I go through, what I went through actually, and I know kids do, and I know they go through even worse. So I'm hoping that I can even bring awareness to this video also, kind of just to put a stop, because no kid should have to, worry about these type of things growing up, and I did. So I know what it feels like if you're going through this too. So my parents would fight all the time, but it would get into really serious things. Like I said, my dad would smoke, he would drink, and when you smoke and you drink, you're more aggressive. I will say this, I never personally saw my parents physically fight, which I'm very thankful that I never had to see that, but it was more of mental things that went on in the house. We lived in a 3-bedroom house in Orlando, and my dad and mom were just, I honestly don't know how to explain their relationship. It was so weird. It was very toxic. It was just all bad. And there would be nights where my dad would come into my room and smash things. He came into my room one night and smashed my TV in front of me because he was mad about something. I used to compete in pageants, as you guys know. I was Miss Florida. I did cheerleading, I did a lot of sports, so all my trophies would always be lined up on my roof. And one night he came in, he took a bat while I was sitting in my room and smashed all of my trophies off the wall, pictures off my wall, my TV, literally with the bat in front of me. And it's like, what am I supposed to do? Like, do I just sit there and watch? Do I say something to him? Like, it's so like scary on my part because I didn't know what to do. One time I had walked into the garage and he had a rope, and he was saying that he was going to commit suicide because of my mom. And it's like putting that pressure on somebody is like, especially on a kid, like telling your kid you're going to commit suicide is just not right. And especially because he wasn't doing it. He was doing it to put stress on me and to make me feel bad for him and to make my mom feel bad for him. He would try to manipulate us into feeling bad for him, and it was just like, you should never do that. Because at the end of the day, yeah, he's my dad and I love him, so of course, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna go cry, I'm gonna be all upset because my dad is committing suicide in the garage. There was this other time where he took morphine pills, and at the time I didn't know what those were, now I do obviously, and he flushed them down the toilet, and I saw him flushing down the toilet, but came to my mom and said, you made me take all of these. Basically saying that she's causing him to take all these pills, he's gonna overdose. Like, just imagine seeing that, being such a young kid, like, you don't even know what to do at this point. Constantly, there was just things like this always happening in my house. And these are just some of the stories that I can even remember because I was so young. One of the times I was on the phone with one of my friends. I was young, you know, I was on the phone. I did cheer, and I cheered for a football team, obviously. And I had a friend that was a guy. I was on the phone with him, and my dad walked in, and he said, oh, you're talking to a guy? Are you a slut like your mom too? And it's just like, imagine hearing that from your dad at such a young age. Like, it's just like, wow. And I feel like, somebody's calling me, I'm sorry. But my dad has always just tried to play this huge victim and tried to look so good on social media, and I've never wanted to even say some of these stories because it's like I shouldn't have to. Like, you know, like people don't need to know this. But if he really wants to go out and say all these lies about me, then I'm gonna actually tell the truth about him so people know what kind of person they're listening to. And yeah, I did try to give him a second chance because, you know, people can change. And I was like, yeah, like, let's try again. And I don't know, I just feel like he's just never gonna be this dad that he thinks he is. He's never gonna be this like amazing dad like he thinks he is. Even like, I try so hard to like forget about those things, but at the same time, like I can't. So me just like being in a house with him, it's gonna bring back memories. And it's like, I don't wanna say that to him. Like, I don't wanna remind him of his bad days, but it's like being so traumatized from that while you were being like a kid. Like I said, those aren't even all the stories. Those are just like some of the ones that I remember so much. So it's like being so traumatized from that, why would you wanna go stay with that person? Like, you never know if that's gonna happen again. Also, I actually am gonna show you guys proof a little bit really quick. So one night, my uncle actually used to be in the Air Force. He lives with us now because my uncle and my family are really, really close. And this is a picture. This is a message that he sent to, my dad sent to my uncle that night apologizing for the way he acted. And it was really sad when I remember seeing this message to my uncle and being like, he could never apologize for me for the way he acted, but when other people are around, he apologizes to them. What about his daughter? Like, what about the way he treats his daughter or his girlfriend? It's just, it was always hard for me to have to sit there and just let it happen. Okay, let me find it. So here it is. He texted saying, Matt, I apologize for the way I acted the last night you were here. I disrespected you and your sister and it was fucked up for sure. I think I have just a lot of anger towards things and thinking I'm owed, but I really need to put some effort as well. I think you and your family, I think of you as family and I never would apologize, but I definitely thought I owed you one. And this is us at the hotel we had to go to because my dad kicked us out when we got home, and we had to go to a hotel. This is my brother, he posted, this is the same day, September 19th. Oh yeah, okay. So he had written this a couple days after it had happened, but this was the day that we had gotten kicked out on September 5th. He apologized September 19th. Sorry, I got really confused. So he posted this September 5th. We got kicked out of our house and we had to go to this hotel that my uncle brought us to because my dad kicked us out. You can see me in it, you can see my brother, and you can see my uncle. So that's just one of the things. That's proof that I'm not lying to you about these things. And first of all, I would never even lie about this because this is such a serious topic. Like literally, like people go through this with their parents on the daily. So it's like I would never lie about something like this. Also, my dad, it was Halloween night. This is actually when we left my dad's house. We got back and all of our stuff was outside on the grass, and he had told us that we needed to get out of the house. So we had to leave the house. We didn't have anywhere to go. This is why we had to stay in a hotel for a couple months, because we didn't have anywhere to go. We stayed with a friend, and there was a lot of other stuff that happened with that friend, but I'm not going to go into that. But he kicked us out, and it was like, the reason why he kicked us out was because I went to go spend Halloween with friends. Like, I was growing up, you know, like I'm not gonna spend Halloween with my parents every night. Like, it just, he was so petty about things, and he would, like, first of all, none of my pageants, he said he didn't agree with it, but I wasn't doing anything bad. Like, all the pageants I competed in, I was not allowed to wear makeup. You weren't allowed to show skin like that. Like, it was really, really strict. So he can't say that he didn't support it because he knew I was doing them and he never put a stop to them. Like, at the time he was my dad, I did live with him, he could have put a stop to them. So I don't know why he tries to act like he was so not for it and like we would do it without his permission, because he gave us permission. But it just shows you, like, I don't know what I'm saying right now. This is so stressful to talk about this. I actually had asked him to walk me on stage for the escort part. You're supposed to have your dad walk you on stage. Canceled on me, so my brother had to walk me on stage, and that really sucked, seeing all the other girls with their dad and me having to walk out with my brother. I love my brother for that. Thank you, Jan. You're a great escort. But just to prove it to you, like, that sucked, you know, like he was never there. There was times where he would come to my cheer games, but would sit like on the far side, only come for like 15 minutes. And it's like, why? Like, are you like embarrassed to show people that you're my dad? Like, why? And it was just like, I don't know, he was never like that supportive growing up, and that really sucked. And to talk about this video really quick, I guess. I know I'm like speaking all over the place. I'm tired. I don't want to be making this video right now, but I have to because I don't want you guys to believe this guy, because you really don't know who this guy is. And so to talk about that, you guys can believe anything you want. I know who I am. I know my age. I know all of that, so it shouldn't matter to you guys. I've told you guys the truth. I'm not gonna even, like, there's no need for me to keep telling you guys the truth because you guys won't believe it anyways. It really sucks that he has to go so low to get his 10 seconds of fame and post YouTube videos begging for subscribers. Why? Like, why do you need that? And that just sucks, because it's like, you can't pick up the phone and call me and say what you need to say. Like, I don't have your number blocked. I would never block your number. But you can go online and say it. You can't text me how you feel. You can't call me how you feel. You can't even text me to see how I'm doing, but you can do that. It just makes no sense to me. I'm also going to read you a text message that he had sent me the other day, which I'm putting out screenshots of this so you guys know. I had wrote him something like just explaining like I want a relationship with you, and like I'm not a bad person, like the clothes I wear doesn't describe me, like just explaining that. And this is what he wrote back. You must be confused. If I wanted a relationship with you, I would make the effort, but it's not worth the drama with your mother. So please, I just try and make my point, as it's only a matter of time. I don't know who you think I listen to online, as I don't waste my time with that joke. I have real issues to deal with, like the grandmother you talk shit about dying right in front of me. So please, you can act all you want. I didn't even think twice about your lies. To talk to your daughter like that is just rude, and to put the blame on me that I talk shit about my grandmother, first of all, that's not even, no, I don't talk shit about my grandmother. My grandmother, his mom, has always been so rude to me my whole life. I wore ripped jeans one time and I walked out of my room and she said, "What are you wearing? Do you think you're a stripper? Like, you literally look like a stripper." Like, she would tell me all the time how I look like a slut, I dress too inappropriate for her. Like, she doesn't even want to be seen with me. She doesn't want people to know that I'm her grandmother. Like, she would literally go to the store and she'd take me there and she'd be like, "Stay in the car, I don't want people to see you." Like, what grandmother says that to their own granddaughter? So obviously, I'm gonna push myself away from that, because like those type of things being said to a kid, like a kid doesn't need to hear that. Especially like ripped jeans, like come on, every store says, well, ripped jeans. Like, it's not a bad thing to wear ripped jeans. That doesn't make you a stripper, that doesn't make you a slut. So obviously I'm gonna distance myself and I'm gonna like try to, you know, just not be around that negativity. And what does his grandma do? His grandma posts on the internet about me. Like, you're a grandma. Why are you posting on the internet about me? Why are you talking shit to me, to other kids? And it's like, that's why, and I've never talked shit about her ever in my life. I would never talk shit about anybody who is older than me, because that's just disrespectful. But I would tell people, I was like, yeah, my grandmother, I don't have respect for her because of the things that she would do to me, the things that she would say to me. Like, that's not right. So why would I have respect for somebody like that? But he always tries to make me feel bad. He'll try to manipulate me, being like, "Oh, this grandmother's dying." And I've tried to be good with her, and it's like every time I try, she just has something so negative to say. And it's like, it's fine. You don't have to like the way I dress. You don't have to like what I'm doing with my life. But you're still family, and family should support you no matter what, as long as it's making you happy, they should support you. And they've just never been able to do that. And that's what sucks so much about that side of the family, and that's why I distance myself from them, because it brings so much negativity to my life. And yeah, there's just honestly not much more to talk about. Also, another thing, there was cops at the house today because my stepmom called them. She calls cops all the time on us, and we have to deal with them. And what did they do? Did they take me? No, because I'm fine and my mom is a great mom and she doesn't do anything. Like, I know you guys have your opinions, but I'm telling you right now, if my mom was a bad mom, or if I didn't want to live with her, I would leave. Like, I'm sorry, I would call the cops on her and be like, "Hi, my mom is not a good mom. She's abusing me. She's taking my money. I don't care." I would leave. Like, she's not. That's why I'm still here. That's why the cops come here literally every other day to check on me, because people like my stepmom and my dad call. And it's like, instead of listening to haters on me, and instead of listening to these stalkers, come to me first and ask me yourself, is your mom doing this? Like, instead of posting on social media, like, he always posts on social media. He never comes to me first. Like, are you really trying to get like followers off of this? Like, off of like hating on your daughter? Like, come on. I don't know, it's a really, really stressful situation. And honestly, I was kind of younger to even remember half the stuff that went on. That's why I'm having my brother talk about it, because he was older. And also, I just can't talk about it. Like, I don't know, I hate being like emotional in videos, so I'm not even gonna go there and get emotional, because I don't like people to see me cry, and I don't like people to see me upset, because then I'm not, like, I want to always be able to spread positivity and make people happy, and I know that like a lot of my followers and stuff wouldn't be happy to see me crying, so that's why I'm not going to go into all of that. That's why I'm letting them. But yeah, my stepmom has always tried to post things about me, talk to haters, and it's just like, why? You know, there's just so much more that I could say that I don't want to say, because I don't want to stoop to their level. But it's like, just take some of those things into what I just said and think about it. Like, I'm not telling you to trust me and not trust my dad. trust whoever you want, support whoever you want. But do you really want to support a guy who literally put not his son, but, you know, he took care of my brother, or, you know, it was like his dad. My brother looked at him like a dad. His basically son, his daughter, and his girlfriend. He tells people my parents weren't together. That's funny because you guys would be all over each other when we would go places. Like, half the time I would literally see them all over each other. Like, they would walk around holding hands when we would go out together. So I hate when he tries to say, oh, I wasn't dating your mom, because yes, you were. You were dating. Like, stop trying to act like you weren't. But like the mental abuse that he put and the lies he would tell to my brother, me, and my mom, like, he's just not a good person. And I hate saying that because he is my dad and I want to see the best in him. But it's like every time I try to make an effort to have a relationship, what does he do? He posts a YouTube video exposing my daughter. Like, come on. Like, it's so pathetic, especially because he's an adult. Like, it took him to make a video exposing me, and he is the adult. Like, what? Yeah, okay. I'm done. I don't want to talk about no more because it's just too much to talk about. So, in the next video, you're about to see my brother and my uncle talk to you guys. So, bye.
Hello, everyone. This is Matt and Chad. I'm going to chime in on the situation that has arisen on social media lately regarding Danny and her father.
Yeah, so first of all, you guys don't really know the full story. You don't really know what Dustin did while we lived with him. So I'll just tell y'all a few stories from him and how he acted. So he was very addicted to marijuana and alcohol. He used those substances to create an even balance in his life. And without them, he would go ballistic. I remember on multiple occasions, he would grab the knives that my grandfather would buy me for fishing to cut up bait, cut the lines, etc. He would grab those knives, lock himself in the garage, and threaten to kill himself. But I'm sorry, that's not really a normal thing to do, especially to children and the woman you supposedly loved. Not only that, he would verbally abuse my mom almost every single day for no reason, just because he felt like it. And if he didn't have those substances, it's probably the worst experience of your life. And not only that, well, being not even a teen, I was exposed to multiple drug deals. He had a friend, I won't say his name because that dude was actually dope, but I was exposed to multiple drug deals at a very young age. Let alone he told me my magic officer was wrong and that marijuana was the best plant in the world and that it should be recreational and not just for medical use. And I'm totally for medical marijuana, but with him, he was a hypochondriac that constantly used it and used it as an excuse. Let alone he couldn't keep a job because he couldn't smoke on the job or drink. Every job he had, he was either fired or quit because he couldn't get high. The only way to keep him from exploding on my mother was if he was cross-faded, meaning high and drunk, and I was massaging his back while he played 8-ball pool on my account on mini clips while listening to Bill Withers. And if y'all say that that's an okay thing to be doing, I don't agree with that because he should have been taking care of his daughter. My mother was technically a single mom majority of our life. Yes, we had lived in his house, but not once did he come to any one of our football games, Danny's cheer games, one of her pageants. He never supported her, nor did he care to. And then on Halloween night is when we were kicked out. But even before that, my uncle can contest to one night that my uncle had came back from being in the Air Force and Dustin's dad was there and he just went apeshit. My uncle had to bring us to a hotel room that night because he didn't even believe what was going on. This is the hotel room and there's Matt right there. he bought us probably the nicest hotel room we had ever experienced in our life. And then that was on September 5th, 2015. September 19th, 2015, he sends Matt a message apologizing for how he treated my mom, Matt's sister, and him that night. But you guys still want to believe his side. There's so many other stories that I won't get into, but here's the last one. There's one night he exploded on my mom. Of course, I stick up for my mom. Being a very young kid, probably wasn't saying the best things to say to him. He says to me, "I don't want you just like your real dad doesn't want you." That is the one and only time I ever punched a wall in his house and flipped out on him, and then went to our neighbor Justin's house, who was probably my best friend at the time. And even his friend that lived at that house said that he was in the wrong on multiple occasions to him, and told him that he wished we could have made up and lived a happy life there. If you think mentally abusing two children and a mom is okay, exposing a young child to drug deals when the drug was still illegal in Florida, was not decriminalized yet.
That's the child support thing. This all started because of child support.
It all started because of child support. He didn't want to pay. Well, my mom was a single mother working 3 jobs, and he still gets supported by his parents. Let alone, it's not my fault they locked him in a dog cage while he was a child, but we won't get into that. Not only that, he was in Florida because he was on the run, and his parents bought him a house in Florida. You can look up, or if you want to know his criminal record, it was fraud and possession of marijuana with intent to sell. Just saying, that doesn't really sound like a father figure to me. And I can promise you my mom has no criminal record. No one in my family does, really, except for him.
Well, your father has a criminal record,
Yeah,
but
we don't
that's
talk
different
about
story.
it. I don't know him. And that's pretty much all I gotta say about Dustin is he's not a good person. He truly isn't. He's reliant on substances, and he's a disrespectful woman hater. And if you don't believe me, you don't have to, because I don't give a fuck about your opinion.
Okay. No F-bombs in the YouTube chat.
They can bleep it out. And that's all I gotta say about Dustin Spangler Cohn.
I mean, also, at the end of the day, why put Danny through all this?
Because he hates his own life.
I think, well, yeah. I just feel like he wants to ruin Jen more than anything, that he just puts his own daughter
At risk.
Through all of this. And never once since I've been here in the past 6 months has he reached out to her and asked her how she was doing.
Because he doesn't care until it comes to the situation of where his wife wants her again. And sorry, Heather, we don't care about you. You have no relationship to us. My sister doesn't want to see your daughter. My sister wants nothing to do with you guys, and it's for a reason. Can't y'all see that? Or are you too blind to realize what you guys have done in the past is completely messed up? But if you keep on saying that you're a good father figure, I'll keep bringing out the stories. Because trust me, when I say there's a shit ton more, this was almost every week for the 12 years that we lived there.
And if we really want to get someone in here, we can get my dad in there too.
Who lived with us majority of the time because he worked at Disney third shift and slept in my bed. But Dustin also told him that he couldn't live there anymore because he was terrified of my grandfather, who was a 60-year-old man. Because Dustin knew he would get his ass beat for disrespecting a man's daughter.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Don't get me wrong, sure, he was cool at some times, but that's only when he had his marijuana and his Yingling. I wouldn't be surprised if he drinks himself to death. with the amount that he drinks.
Yeah. It's just sad that it has come to this. This is stuff that the public does not need to know.
Well, it's
This is
so
stuff
sad
that needs to be happening between like adults
yeah,
behind the scenes, keeping private life private. Not, hey, I'm gonna go to social media
and do
social
this.
media and expose my own daughter because
She
what I
wants
want out of
nothing.
life wasn't happening because so and so. It's disgusting. It's hateful.
And Dustin, you have a daughter, so worry about that one, the one that you guys gave birth to a few years ago. And also, you said something about Danny not going to your wedding. Yeah, she didn't want to be a part of it. She doesn't like Heather. She never has. Point blank, I don't know what else to tell you. You can't force someone to be in your wedding. Sorry, she was the flower girl for Rich and not you. It's pretty simple.
At the end of the day,
Dustin, you're a waste of space. That's what it is.
oh, okay. I was gonna say something else.
Well, I'm just gonna say that.
Okay. Well, that's Chad's side of the story. Partly. There's more.
There's a lot more. I just won't get into details.